What I established with you in 5 minutes was like pretty impressive. At this point, this whole thing's been a show. This is like more stressful than my real job. I'm not here to chase roses. I'm here for a partner in crime. I'm confident that I could get a rose tonight. I mean, if I don't get it after that, I have no business being here.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Oh, hello and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
And behind the glass, one producer Patrick Hickey.
Hi, everybody.
That was pretty.
Thanks, dude.
That was really nice. Hey guys, crazy episode, huh?
Definitely, dude.
I gotta say, this is good reality television. This is really good reality television.
Put a bunch of people in their late 20s, early 30s on a beach, banging each other. Drama happens.
It doesn't always work, though, Patrick. We watched last season of Bachelor in Paradise. It was not this compelling, but I don't know, are you smelling general thoughts right now?
I would love to talk about some general thoughts right now.
Do you want to go, or do you want Pat to go?
I'll go. I just never have the Puppet Masters made their presence known as they did in this episode with some of the shenanigans. I just want to ask Bibiana, did it hurt when they attached those strings? But I'm getting ahead of myself.
I want to hear my general thoughts. I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a few.
What?
Okay. Here's my thoughts. Okay, Kendall's a hussy. Nick, the Geico lizard, could possibly be one of the dumbest people on the planet. And Wells, the bartender, is not only not funny this season, he's coming off a little angry.
I was thinking when I was watching, like, is Sarah Hyland highly publicized girlfriend of Wells? She's a famous actress.
Modern Family.
Is she like, is it ironic that he's on? Is it ironically cool that he's on this show? Because it's not cool that he's on this show.
No, it seems
kind
off.
Of a pathetic existence.
All right, by the way, his title is a TV personality and stand-up comic. I don't know if you can say that he does either one of these things. Okay, so he's been hanging out in the A-list crowd though, and now he came to this fucking island with an attitude.
Right.
I caught on the first episode, the cast asked for a drink and he said, "What do you want? Some warm tequila?" You could tell he was getting irritated with him.
Yeah, it's just really short. I like bitter Wells.
All right, dove right into the Wells there. Do you have anything else to say?
Just general thoughts on general thoughts.
Okay.
I really thought when I said Puppet Masters, Pat would correct me and say Svengali.
You know what? I said Svengali to my father on the phone, I think this morning. And granted, he's a redneck, but he said, "What the fuck are you talking about? Is a Svengali a puppet master?"
Correct, it is.
It's one who manipulates or controls the situation by some sinister influence, especially a coach, mentor, industry mogul. And it derives from George du Maurier's 1895 novel Trilby. Svengali is the antagonist he's a hypnotist who seduces, dominates, and exploits the titular Trilby and a young Irish woman, and he makes her a famous singer, and she's unable to perform when not under his hypnosis. So that's what a Svengali is.
Did you know all that about the history of that word?
I knew a little bit about that story.
Trilby, what's his name?
Trilby.
Okay,
it's
so
her.
Do you guys want to get into this episode?
Please, Dylan.
It's time to move on. It's time to cut the serpent's head off. And
Uh-oh, Goose Gang, motherfucker.
The Goose Gang's together.
It's a very clawing sound. It's an extremely clawing sound, Patrick.
Yes. Very much like those guys.
Oh, man. It's just, like I said last week, kind of hearing those sounds traumatizes me a little bit on account of I was attacked by a goose.
The wings felt like punches.
Thank you. So, Pat, please don't play that sound effect anymore.
I can't promise that.
Alrighty, so
The
anyways,
Goose Gang. He's introing the Goose Gang. You can segue. I like that sound.
the Goose Gang approaches, or rather, Colton approaches the Goose Gang, and the answer to is Jordan and the rest of the gang going to kill Colton? That is answered for us. They initially, or rather the entire time, except for Chris, act like cowards.
Really backpedaled quickly.
Oh my God, we're all wearing polos, huh? Look at that. Do we have a clip of this?
All right, so we have Evil Ben Stiller confronting Colton. So this is them two talking.
Yeah.
Bombarded with this whole Tia situation today, nonstop. There's still unfinished business that needs to be talked about. Are you 100% involved with Tia right now moving forward, or are you trying to explore other options?
I'm exploring other options.
And that's what you
Tia's
want.
still on the board too.
You can't do that.
What do you mean you can't do that? This is paradise, bro.
I mean, Cole.
I have thoughts.
Yeah.
If I was getting the third degree from Evil Ben like that, I'd be like, what are you writing a fucking book about me,
The
dude?
third degree? What does that mean?
Is third degree or
Yeah.
Are you talking about burns?
Is
What
that-
are
No,
we
third
talking
degree,
about?
that like interrogation.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never knew that term existed.
Oh, wow. All right, well, anyway, there is giving him that.
Yeah.
And I would have said, look, dude, go fuck yourself. I could beat the shit out of all of you right now.
Right.
And you don't need to be up in my business, so beat it.
Well, you're a little angrier than Colton. I think he essentially says that to them, but in his kind of nice, lispy, aloof manner. But the subtext there was, I don't care what you're saying. You guys are going to play the Rose game, which is cute. I will always have one. So you can tell me to not go after Tia? I don't care. I'll do whatever I want because this is, after all, my island.
It's paradise, bro.
Am I off there?
No, you're 100%. Although he does make one mistake. They get out of him that he still loves Becca.
Right.
Now, I know he has to say that because you have to seem like you're still brokenhearted so that the rest of America feels sorry for you. And
Well, he may very well be actually brokenhearted.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Those look like pretty real tears to me.
I think this man is an incredible actor, and he's making a hard play at that Bachelor role.
I don't think he's smart enough to be that good of an actor. But anyways, you want to talk about getting ahead of ourselves? That's the very last thing that happens. Good Lord. Hey, you guys want to talk about Evil Ben doing those karate poses on the beach?
The crane kick, specifically.
I don't remember who broke it down. I think it was NFL's Dave Damashek. It's ridiculous that the person he's fighting gets a point off because he kicks him in the knee. But Danielson literally throws a heel into his nose, which could just skyrocket into your brain. And he wins the competition.
It's some of the most violent point fight karate I've ever seen, I will tell you.
It's insane. If you freeze frame it, it looks like it could be a fatal injury. But anyways, we got to move on because that's not that important. Nick gives a speech about... does he say Carpe Diem at this point?
He threw it in real smooth. He cracks me up on occasion, and he was like, it's a good opportunity to Carpe Diem.
He was like, you need to check your temperature if you think that you've got paradise in the bag.
Check the temperature, baby. Last week, we didn't talk about it. He had that amazing line, sloppy segundos. And this guy had a couple one-liners that cracked me up.
Why is that a good line?
Sloppy segundos, because it's usually sloppy seconds. They're in Mexico. He said this Mexican...
Those are the reasons.
Yeah.
That's all it's got.
Hey, guys, I have this gem. It's pretty much one of the dumbest things I've ever heard a human being say. He said, hey, we all need to address the white elephant in the room.
Oh, my God. I wanted to get to that. Was that when the Goose Gang talked to Colton the first time?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Oh, man. That was so beautiful. That was poetry. Garrett's not a poet. Nick is. We need to talk about Kevin, which I'll say again is a film about a troubled young boy who rains arrows down on children in a basketball gym. We've talked about how he is Quasimodo mixed with James Marsden, and he really sounds like Quasimodo in this clip.
I haven't made plans yet.
That was really quick. Let me play that again.
Yeah, 7 more times, please.
I haven't made plans yet.
Wow.
Hit us with it one more time.
I haven't made plans yet.
Dylan, let this be a lesson to you. When you're that good looking, you get to sound like that.
Okay, but let's talk about him being good looking. One, I just want to note that he sounds like Shaquille O'Neal when he talks.
Oh, yeah.
Second, I was watching with my darling wife, Cecilia, last night, and she, we've already perfected the comparison, quasi James Marsden. But she was talking about some stuff, and I thought it was pretty dead on. She said, he looks like if you took James Marsden's face and, blew it up, but then you just punched the middle, and then the head was still inflated.
I'm having a hard time picturing it, if I'm going to be quite honest.
He also said he looks like he got struck by lightning.
Do you possibly think the love for your wife is blinding you to the fact that these aren't that great comparisons, and maybe we should have stopped after James Marsden Quasimodo?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry, Cease.
Okay, we got to move on. You know who gets the date card?
Just by random chance, Kenny. No particular reason he got this date?
Yeah, I'm trying to identify why they would give it to him. I agree with you. What's the motive here?
Well, he needs to start taking applications for his queen. So that starts.
Yeah, and he was a smooth operator, I thought. At least the mashup made it look like. It seemed like he was charming the pants off all these ladies. He went Bibiana, Nisha, Chelsea, Astrid, Crystal. He charmed them all.
Yeah, but they're all like, hey, how come you weren't like this for the past 48 hours? This is weird how you're behaving. He lights up when he gets that date card, and this is the worst of Kenny.
Hey, when your job involves you being in your underwear and you're not a male model, you're a loser.
Huh. Interesting take.
Don't you think, though?
No. So anyways, he gives Crystal the rose, and kind of a bold move. He carries her for, I think, too long on the beach.
She seemed to be enthralled by it.
I think she, even for her, was slightly uncomfortable after, the 45th yard. But a bold move, Cotton. We've got to get on into this episode and talk about Annalise, who I was horrified to find that she shares the same zodiac sign as me. She's 1 day away from my day of birth, which means that we are, as it pertains to Stardust, our makeup is rather similar.
I, on the other hand, was delighted to find out that Jordan is also a passionate Capricorn.
Damn you, Zodiac. Pat, do you have any thoughts about what these two are chatting about, or about David's interruption?
Oh, okay. All right, so Jordan asks Annalise out for a romantic dinner by the beach. By the way, he didn't do that. That's what the producers did. But anyway, so they sit down at a table. She's very impressed by Jordan providing this table so they can have dinner. They talk about stupid stuff. Jordan finds out that she's an artist, and this inspires him.
Right. Right. Very confusing.
Well, some of their dialogue was a little bit confusing, and it didn't exactly make a whole ton of sense. I actually found their date really cute and endearing. I don't know. It was really fun together. It was seeing the previews of what's to come.
Right.
Kind of ruined it.
I was just gonna say he's a guy. He's a piece of shit, and she's going to be in shambles next week. Before they go on this romantic date, we forgot to mention the Chicken Man comes in.
He steps in and spares no time backstabbing Jordan.
He tries to bust this up, and I was thinking, he must be the producer's dream cast member. They can get him to do whatever they want. They were like, hey, do you remember that thing that America absolutely hated you for? The reason why you're irredeemable as a character? Go do that more. On a different show now, David. Go do it. And he does.
Yeah, how do you not realize how you're coming across? Like, what is your goal for after this show is over?
I think they told him you're going to be the bad guy, and he just like bought that angle.
Quickly, one more thought on Annalise. You mentioned last week her weak jaw.
Yeah.
And I this week
Did you see it?
I could not stop looking at it. I thought she was cute, but I personally have never been exactly known for a strong jaw. So if we were a couple, we'd have these weak jawed children that would just be chastised.
Your
at
children
the playground.
would look like pugs.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say, Pat?
Oh, yeah. To bookend this date, Jordan and Annalise's date, after dinner, they take a walk down the beach and they kiss. And I have to say, I was pretty sure he is gay, but I watched his kissing skills and they did come off as a heterosexual.
Yeah.
We can put that to bed?
I think so, sir.
I'm happy that we've put it to bed. I have zero confidence in the fact that Pat is not going to stop calling this man gay.
Oh, can I do a new segment called Meanwhile?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so meanwhile, they cut to Wells, the bartender. By the way, I really wish Jorge will be brought back, and I'm pretty confident he'll be brought back next season because Wells sucks so much.
Yeah.
Wells is alone at the bar, and he's talking to the camera, and he says, it's not easy listening to idiots complain every day and talk about their relationships.
Good pull. Yep. Good catch.
I would say, well, that's exactly why you're here, sir.
Right. He, as the bartender, is somehow above everyone in his mind. Well, because he's dating Sarah Hyland. But again, you're still on this fucking dog shit TV show.
Make the best of it, dude. Make America laugh. You should be the comedy. You should be our voice. Hey, that's what he should be doing, is doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Live, there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
be funny and do it better.
I think he'd quickly be fired and removed from his position if he did exactly what we did. Maybe in
You
our
have a
direction.
weak jaw. You look like a bitch.
And a pug.
You know who else isn't getting any help from? Yuki Ponyo. She has returned, and it's rather anticlimactic. I don't know how you guys felt about it.
She's got some weird stuff going on. Her hair color's a little lightened now. That's odd for an Asian woman. Is she wearing weird contacts or something?
Yep, of course.
I do not like that.
I don't understand why you're surprised about hair color changes on a peppy Japanese reality star.
It just it's off-putting.
I still love her,
I love her too.
but my enthusiasm has waned just a tad. And I will say, even though I was emoji heavy on that DM I sent her, it wasn't
did not.
It wasn't emoji heavy enough because that's pretty much all she understands.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a ceiling to how much affection we can have for somebody who doesn't speak our language whatsoever. You know, how do we get to know them?
It's like a little toy you had when you're a kid. You only get so much enjoyment out of it, and then you got to put it in a box and throw it in the fucking attic.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then you spend a couple hours playing with the box.
Nick was a box kid. It's good. He had a big imagination. Hey, you guys want to talk about some crazy stuff in the ring?
Oof, I saw this one coming.
The glitter, the masks, the body slams. Kenny and Crystal go to the ring.
This was really upsetting to me personally. I can't believe ABC would put these two in a position where they're accosted by these wrestlers, and I just thank God that it happened to be Kenny that was on the stage, and he was well trained enough to be able to defend his woman's honor.
Could you imagine if David had been on that date? They would have gotten physically destroyed.
They may have gotten beaten to death by these lucha libres.
Yeah. You know, Kenny is on a high, though, because luckily he was the one contestant who would fare well in that scenario. And
His profession is literally professional wrestler.
I'm not a fan of wrestling, but I think anybody with a working pair of eyes can see that that was poetry what he did up there. That was really good stuff.
Some people say soccer is the most beautiful game. Well, this is, I don't know.
Not that.
Can I jump in here? I have some thoughts on this. All right, so this annoyed the shit out of me. Okay, Kenny is a narcissist. This is his whole life. It's him and that daughter, Mackenzie. That's it. That's all he has to live for. And so did he beg the producers for this setup? And then I think he chose the girl most likely not to want to have anything to do with him, to go on the date with him, because he thought this would really get, as Astrid asked Tia early in the episode, get her pussy dancing, if you caught that.
Yeah.
Kenny is a loser, and I really hate this because every guy that has no game will bring a chick to what his best thing is and try and impress her and think 100% down he's going to get her.
Right.
And well, egg on my face because it worked hook, line, sinker.
I mean, it's not going to work, I don't think.
Ultimately
in the long run.
It would have been a better move. He could have capitalized on it a little bit more, this serendipitous date they were put on, professional wrestling, just completely random. But if after he won the wrestling match, he would have brought her into the ring and kissed her there. I thought that would have been quite the romantic scene.
Well, he does not kiss her there. We got to get to the night date.
Night date! Kenny's sweating more than a meth addict in a methadone line.
There is a ton of sweat. And I couldn't help but feel horrible for her when he raked her in and soaked her face with his.
It was pretty gross. Okay. Did she want anything to do with this? Because, getting ahead of ourselves, she dumped Quasimodo for this guy. What strategy does she have here by going along with this?
She's going to go back to him. She's got to go back to him, right? Him and Astrid do not have a real connection.
Yeah, but why make out with Kenny?
I think you can't.
Obligated, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can't turn down the date because of camera time, and I don't know. But I guess that doesn't mean she has to kiss him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, after
it's better television, I guess.
I think the reason that she kissed him is because he quite literally saved her life. Probably.
Yes, those Lucha Libres literally could have murdered her.
Yeah. So I think she was kind of caught up in that, and she's very grateful for it, but I think that's going to go away pretty soon.
How many times do I have to say it? Fear is nature's most powerful aphrodisiac.
Hey, do you guys want to talk about Astrid and Kevin? Nope.
Not really. He's hedging his bets. Smart move. Astrid is basically the chick that I think is the hottest on the island, although I hate her as a person. She's really into him, it appears.
Yeah.
He says things in Paradise move really quickly, like he was just with Crystal and now he's with Astrid. That's because you're just picking these women by hand, throwing them over your shoulder, and sticking your tongue down their throat.
Right.
At the second you think it.
Salsa or not.
Hey, one thing, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so the crazy Crystal new love with Kenny and the breakup with Kevin never actually, I don't know if they didn't have enough time in the episode. I guess we had to spend more time. They never addressed them pairing off.
Yeah, Kevin was never like, hey, what the fuck was that? It's a good point.
When Astrid and Kevin were talking, she popped up because she saw a lizard. And
that's right.
For like a split second, I was worried he just whipped his dick out.
Why?
I don't know. The context.
You thought a little thing that was crawling all over her was his penis?
I didn't see it, but the way she jumped up and said lizard, I thought she meant he whipped his dick out. It was a split second, like I said.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, what's up, Pat?
Okay, as you know, I'm a detailed motherfucker. So I'm really enjoying this episode. And it is minute 40. And then this happens. We have to start talking about Tia and Colton again.
I agree. Screeching halt.
Screeching halt. Tia and the Beast. Let's get into it.
So, but now it's announced that the rose ceremony's happening in just an hour or so. So every motherfucker that hasn't paired up yet starts scrambling, and that's what we see.
Right.
And the first one out, I believe, is Jordan and Elise, and they're on the beach. And I kind of like this move. Annalise basically goes to Jordan because he's about to say, I don't know, talk stupid and basically convince her, hey, you got to pick me, right? She says, hey, you're getting the rose. Shut up. You're getting it, dude.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to worry about it. Next up is Nick the Geico Lizard with Chelsea, who thinks they had a great first date.
Yeah.
I have a clip. Can I play a clip?
Yeah.
I think this guy is the dumbest person on the planet.
Same.
What I established with you in 5 minutes was like pretty impressive. And for me, I've been waiting to establish like some kind of like legit connection where like we pursue this tomorrow and the next day. But like at this point, this whole thing's been a show. This is like more stressful than my real job. I'm not here to chase roses. I'm here for a partner in crime. That's why I'm here. I'm confident that I could get a rose tonight. I mean, if I don't get it after that, I have no business being here.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Wow.
You cannot make this guy up. I mean, this is the archetypal dumb bro. The confidence this steroid-tittied man has. He's like, hey, piggybacking off of our incredible conversation that we had. I don't know if you guys remember, she was asleep.
Yeah. I was just going to say he was moments away from a felony.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so funny how funny he is.
There are two people competing to show, at least, in the dumbest people
I
on
think
Earth
you're
contest.
too hard on Kendall, but I completely agree with Joe the Grocer. She's like, we need to toast. What are we going to toast to? Long pause. Us? Oh, my, wow, that's nice. What else are you going to fucking toast to? Paradise, us, and love. That's it.
We could cheers to the fact that I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
That's very good.
You guys want to move on to another pairing still involving Joe's Kendall, but with a different suitor. One John.
Asian John.
One Asian Jonathan. She's a hot commodity. But so is John, apparently.
I have another, is it a euphemism? Easy pickings.
You think?
Yeah. Yep. Anybody can get her on that island. She'll accept any tongue down her throat.
Oh, my God.
100%. She's,
You
besides
are
Annalise, she's
so
the least
brutal.
attractive chick there.
And I think it was a little bit throwing a bone to John too, just because like she's like, oh, I love nerds, like I'm gonna make out with John. It's kind of like when they like put in an autistic kid. Why is it always autism with me? But a specific example they did with that one kid the last 2 minutes, and he hit 6 3-pointers. So he was hot as a pistol.
Was this a viral video?
Like from like 12 years ago. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, this is what we've all been waiting for. Colton and Tia talking about their relationship for 15 minutes.
This is when we go from 1.8 speed to about 2.5.
Before we get into all this fascinating dialogue, let's take a quick break for a little iTunes, Apple Podcasts, ratings and reviews. Hey, Pat.
Yeah, buddy.
How you doing, man?
We're going to have to talk about it.
Oh. That's not good.
No, it's not.
Pat, what happened in the Apple Podcast ratings and reviews this week?
Dylan, I'm glad you asked. I'm not actually going to address anything that happened in the iTunes review section this week. I have to get to more important matters. As you know, I and Haley Whittle, the Minister of Information, work together to constantly scour through the comments section of the Another Bachelor podcast group and the comments, the people that are making.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so
I didn't know you were doing that. I know Haley's doing that.
well, she alerted me to this, and it was very upsetting. And now I have to deal with this. I don't like to do this. I like to watch the show and
Have
do
fun.
a podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, have fun. I don't want to have to deal with people and bad things. But now you force my hand.
I can see the veins.
Okay, so here we go. Someone posted UGG I'm attempting to watch BIP for the first time. Last time I attempted, I couldn't get past the first stupid, cheesy beginning. Is it really worth it? With a question mark. Let's see. The person that posted that was Austin Schneiderhan or something. And then that was followed by 16 comments. Jennifer Murray said, yeah, that's hard. I'm trying to watch it. Just save yourself unless you really love Tia Colton. Okay, that's a little negative. Austin then replied, yeah, not really. I'm not into them. Okay. Jennifer Murray said, it's painful. There were several other people involved in this, this exchange. At no time through comment 14 did anybody say, but we love the podcast so much that's why we put ourselves through this. Finally, at the end of this... Finally, at the end of this conversation, someone interjects and says, agreed. But this is exactly what we watch because we get to listen to a great podcast afterwards mocking it. That was Marcy Gibbets.
I thought you were going to say that's Pat Hickey.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say the exact same thing.
No, that wasn't me. That was a baby bird. So this is really unfortunate. But those of you who decided to be negative, you're fucking out.
Yes!
Here are the names that are out. Jennifer Murray, get the fuck out. You're out. You're suspended. Austin Schneider Hahn, you're out. Laura Douglas, I liked you. You've contributed quite a bit, but unfortunately, you weren't here for us. You're out. Caitlin Rogers, you're out. Krista.
This is making up for all the lost culling we should have been doing throughout the season.
Don't interrupt me. Krista Saith, you're out. Fabi Califf, you're out. Yayla Sikan Evans, you get to stay. Haley Whittle, obviously, you get to stay. Mary Gibbets, you get to stay. And Leslie Hayon, you get to stay. For those of you that have been thrown out, you're immediately deleted and kicked out. You have 24 hours to write me a direct message asking to be back in. I will decide your fate.
Jesus, this was like the baptism scene in Godfather. That was a bloodbath.
Later, Mo Green. All right, T and Colton. I gotta ask, is Colton balding?
Oh yeah, he's got what I call a comb forward, which
is
you're starting to get missing some part of the front part of your head.
Yeah.
So you take some of the middle part and you push it forward.
Could it be that his love and emotions on this island are causing so much stress that his hair is falling out? Because he's 26 years old.
He needs to start funneling some of that money out of that Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and put a little in his pocket so he get some cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
As the face of that organization, I feel like in the long run it'll only help its bottom line.
Hair plugs is an investment. It's a write-off.
And you're in your prime. You don't want to lose it because you got a bad hairline.
Yeah.
Nick, apparently not in his prime because, we've done some digging on Colton. As you know, I love the baby birdies. We have a special baby birdie who really stepped up today to find out some background on Colton's professional football career. Would you like to hear his professional football career?
Absolutely.
Okay, here is how it goes. Football on May 10th, 2014, he was signed to San Diego Chargers, which seems impressive. But by August 30th, 2014, he was waived. Never actually saw the field.
Well, he went to training camp, which is,
Well, there's some light at the end of this tunnel. On September 3rd, 2014, he was signed to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he was on their practice squad. On September 9th, he was released. That's his entire professional football career.
Right. That's rough.
Well, I want to say this. You don't get to put in your job title former professional football player when you actually play.
The problem is, and that's why this is so sad, could you imagine being that stupid your entire life, but being like, it's fine, I'm going to play football. And then you don't do that.
Yeah, you can't even call what he did a cup of coffee. He was thrown out when he was trying to use the bathroom.
Boy, I couldn't think of another way to put it, dude. That was solid, man.
So topical.
It wasn't race related.
Let's talk about this conversation that Colton and Tia have. Pat, do you have a clip?
Oh, yes, dude. Can I play it?
Figuring my thing, like figuring out what I want, being open, like talking to other people. I feel like I owe it to myself to explore and figure out what I want with other people too. It's not, I mean, I'm trying to figure.
You're waiting around on the next best thing instead of pursuing what's in front of you.
That's not what the case is.
You're so full of and that is such a cop-out.
It's actually not a cop-out. She said, hey, what are you going to do, Colton? He said, actually, I'm going to kind of keep my options open.
He's saying the same thing he said to the Goose Gang. I'll do whatever I want. Whatever I want. Because I can.
You know, gentlemen, at some point, this wasn't in the clip, but she accuses him after talking to the ladies that Colton's doing to her what Deanie Baby did to Lipstick Eater last season. And dare I say, this is the exact opposite. Deanie Baby is a scumbag and lied and played multiple people and never really told them what he felt.
Yeah.
Colton, what he just did there is said, hey, baby, I'm going for the Bachelor here.
Yeah.
So your cachet's done. You're over. There's no shot of you being the Bachelor. Right now is you at the height. After this, it's going to clubs for some potential appearances, and it's just going to get worse for you. But me, I still got a shot.
Tia, you are in my wake. But I do have to say, while Colton has a very good chance on this island, Tia is the Dawn, as we mentioned last week. And she said, you're through then. You're not getting my rose? We'll see who gives you one. Mm-hmm. Which was a badass move. If it didn't take so long to get to, and
then she kind of backpedaled when he laid it out there. He's like, you're like blackmailing me. She's like, I am not. And he's like, you just said if I don't pick you, I'm gone.
Yeah.
She's like, I guess I did say that.
This seems a bit forced to me. I don't know if Tia's a producer. Again, she has nothing else after this. But the way Tia was kind of handling this, playing a little bit of a jealous girlfriend. What the fuck happened on that lost weekend of theirs where this chick is so into this dude?
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say the same thing with Colton and Becca. Why is he so fucking broken up?
Well,
we watched it on camera, dude.
Because he's emotionally retarded, and that was 2 months, not 2 days. I feel like that's a common time frame that's getting brought up tonight.
It's very unbecoming of Tia how he's trying to lay it out there. Not interested, but she just won't let go. Like, she should be an independent woman. She's a doctor. We forget this. It's Dr. Tia, whatever her last name is.
She's not a doctor.
Yes, she is.
What kind of doctor?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. You're not a doctor if you're on a fucking airplane, someone has a heart attack, and we say, is there a doctor here? If you don't raise your hand, you're not a doctor.
Did you just watch that episode of Curb or something?
No.
Oh.
My buddy Glenn is a doctor of economics. And I busted his balls on that one because he's always dropping that to get laid at bars. And I'm like, hey, dude, you're not a fucking real doctor, okay?
That Curb episode's very funny because Ed Begley plays the doctor, and somebody has a heart attack on the plane. And Larry's like, are you going to do anything? He's like, no, stop. He's like, they're having a heart attack. Go do something. He's like, Larry, do you want to lay over in Waco with $100 gift card? Huh? Shut up.
I just looked it up. She's a doctor of physical therapy.
She has her PhD.
Yes.
Tia has her PhD.
We discussed it on her season with who was her bachelor? Ari. Oh wow, yeah, that was that recent. Yeah, we discussed. She is a doctor. She is a PhD of physical therapy.
Jesus Christ.
Does the Goose Gang swoop in right here?
I believe Evil Ben shows up here, so he's not with the other members of the Goose crew, the Goose Gang.
Right.
So Nick, Nick the lizard, he's around trying to still convince Chelsea to pick him.
Got it. So Colton and Tia walk back up to the group, and Astrid is saying that Colton is done because Tia's clearly not going to give him her rose. LOL, Astrid. LOL. He immediately goes to Angela.
The prostitute. She's looking pretty cute here, dude. Even though she is a prostitute, or looked like one on the last episode when they did the close-ups on her face, I'm gonna say she's growing on me a little bit.
Well, I say LOL Astrid, and I was very confident in Colton's ability to go to the second choice and get her like that. But it seems as though the Goose gang have been squawking. Wrong medium. Nick's flapping his wings. Don't play the sound effect.
I love this sound effect.
It's very clawing.
A little bit more information on Tia's educational history. She got her 4-year degree from Arkansas State in 2 years, and then completed the 3-year physical therapy program and graduated magna cum laude of that program. She's a smart broad.
Smarter than me.
Well, I just said broad like Pat. It felt good.
Okay, so at some point after he has this conversation with Tia, he goes, hey. It's almost like a fucking Matlock show. He's like, hey.
What a fucking reference.
Timely.
Someone's sabotaging me.
Who
could it be?
I've never heard someone say it's like Matlock.
I used to see Matlock like in the
It's like
TV land.
Matlock.
In like the TV land.
The guide, and then say
on the guide on TV land, and I was just like, wow, I'm never gonna watch that.
Right. I'll never watch.
Okay, neither here nor there. But Colton.
Shame on you, Patrick.
Okay, shame on me.
Shame
Regardless, Colton, he figures it out. There's a diabolical plan, and he needs to get to the bottom of it. And he thinks, hey, it might be the Goose Crew.
Hey, look, it's an army of dragonflies coming up. Turn the fucking geese off, Patrick. Turn the geese off. Let's get into their conversation.
You're putting the goose before the gander. Is that a saying?
Totally, and I don't understand it. Nikki Slick is a snake in the grass.
It's a snake.
You want to talk about lisps? Colton's lisp is so pronounced. I see it all. His lips move in the dumbest way.
Can I tell you what word brings out a gay lisp more than anything? Audacity. You guys had the audacity to backstab me. That is a direct quote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, only gay men use the word audacity, so I'm a little suspect now.
I say audacity all the time.
Do you do it with a lisp, dude?
We have a clip. I hope he says audacity in our clip. Can we hear the clip? Please say audacity.
I just got to put this out there. I'm trying to figure out, after our conversation last night, who had like the audacity to go do a girl here and bash me.
I don't think anyone bashed you.
No, yeah, nobody bashed you.
And what are you referencing?
And Mike, yeah.
Like,
What was the bash?
The conversation in context got brought up that said, I'm glad you pulled me tonight. I heard a lot of things about you that necessarily weren't good. Oh. And then she proceeded to talk about how the guy said I wasn't here, for the right reasons, and I'm not ready because I'm straight off of Becca's season.
I mean, I talked to her.
I talked to Tia. That was it.
I talked to Angela.
About that?
I mean, she brought it up about yesterday, like what had happened, but I didn't bash anyone. I said exactly what needed to be said.
Yeah.
We had a conversation, and I said, this is what I know, and I'm not here to tell anyone else what to believe or what not to believe.
But what do you know?
Whatever you told us last night.
But how does that lead into me not being here for necessarily the right
I didn't say you weren't here for the right reasons.
Okay, a couple things with that clip. One, you're right. He sounds like so gay. And two, again, you can't make this Nick guy up.
This was my favorite line out of any of it. This was straight out of a sitcom. He's like, whoa, we didn't bash you when we were talking to Angela behind your back. Wait, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're referencing.
What are you talking about?
He got out in front of it before Colton even explained what he was talking about.
Singing quite a different tune than they were the night they were basically discussing committing a homicide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe one of them finally pointed out the fact that they're on national television. If they murder him, they'll be going to prison for a long time.
I don't think it was Nick. We have to. He just doesn't seem like the voice of reason.
No, I bet he's still like, let's kill him.
I do have to say, your darling wife Cherie brought this up. Chris's hairline is that of a baby monkey. And that's not
Evil Ben Stiller?
That's not racial. Yeah, Chris's hairline, but Evil Ben Stiller. It has this very, very alarming thinness right before it joins the actual head of hair.
It's also gotten darker, like one of the Jackson brothers.
Yeah.
If you look at Jermaine Jackson or some of those other weirdos that used to be in the band that Michael sang in, the Jackson 5, they spray paint their hair. Like, Google image this, because they obviously, their hair is too dark for the face. And the skin is darker on the actual skull area.
Okay, yeah. Anyways.
Hey, can we get to the rose ceremony?
Yeah.
Please.
Let's get to the rose ceremony. Before we do, the white elephant line that was aforementioned was said here by Nikki Slick. Let's talk about the white elephant in the room.
Now, Nick, you know all this stuff. You have a great affection for the English language and history and a great knowledge. Now, a white elephant is what, Nick?
I think he was mixing it up with the line from Hot Tub Time Machine and the popular saying.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Elephant in the room.
Well, white elephant is a Christmas gift, is it not?
It's a Christmas gag, yeah.
It's a Christmas gift, and oh no, that was Great White Buffalo. Yeah.
So when you were thinking that it was a movie reference, which, by the way, would egg on our face, like if Nikki Slick was referencing a movie line.
He wasn't.
Okay, good. Then he's a moron.
He is who we thought he was.
Okay, so a white elephant is a gag Christmas gift.
Right.
And the elephant in the room is something that's questionable that we all need to address.
It means there's something so large in the room. It takes up the space of an elephant, and we need to address that. Let's get to the rose ceremony.
Oh, can I do a roll call?
Because imagine if there was an elephant in this studio.
You would we'd have to be like, hang on, before we start the podcast, can we talk about the elephant in the room? Yes, you can do a roll call.
Okay, here's who picked who. Roll call! Rose ceremony. Crazy Crystal picks Kenny. Astrid picks Canadian Kevin. Tia picks Evil Ben. Kendall picks the Goose. Annalise picks Jordan. Skinny Black Chick.
Kendall
Nisha
picks the Goose. How dare you? She picked Grocer Joe.
Oh. The goof. Sorry, that was a typo. All right, let me get started again. Annalise picks Jordan. Black skinny chick Nisha picks Eric. Chelsea picks the Chicken Man. Angela the whore picks Asian John. And Bibiana, major producer move, picks Colton. Now, I had thought they set Angela the whore up to pick Colton. But that did not happen.
Should we calm down on the Angela's a prostitute thing? I realized it was me that started the whole thing, but I feel like we're being a little harsh on her. I don't know. It's a democracy.
I haven't said it once. I think she's a sweet girl.
Okay.
But we know this was a producer's move by Bibiana. She even said it earlier in the episode. Can we play clip number 5, I believe?
Everything here in Paradise has been a lot about Tia and Colton, and there's still a lot of confusion. And I think a lot of us would be really okay with seeing Colton go, especially Chris.
Nice.
What? I thought you'd be okay with him going.
Right.
It was your choice.
You bitch.
You bitch.
Changes her tune, and now she flips the script and
I
says,
love how fired up you are
he
right now.
needs to find love. He deserves a chance to find love, too. Boy, these producers... Boy, they didn't even bother edit that Bibiana. That was like a inconsequential clip to have Bibiana say that early in the episode. Why not have a clip of her, set this up, pull her aside 10 minutes after the rose ceremony and not even care about continuity? It's nighttime. You know, I don't know if Colton and Tia are going to work out, but Colton seems like a nice guy. He deserves love. Bam! We got the shot. Right. Now this all makes sense. The narrative makes sense. But no, what we've seen here is this good pull, Nick. God damn it, good pull, Nick.
And I agree with your take on it. It's just lazy. The explanation was so half-assed after.
Right.
It was, but still great television. So
great
I'm not that
reality television. Kendall, I want to say something real quick. Not Kendall, Crystal. Huh. Surprised myself there, but this is actually what happened. She brings up a good point. Tia is pissed off at Colton for doing the exact same thing that Tia is doing. They have their number one choice, but they also have people in their back pocket so they can stay on this island longer.
I think the reason Tia is getting away with this without much backlash from the rest of the crew is because she's so much more likable than Chris is. No one cares if Chris is getting taken advantage of. He's skeezy and gross.
Right.
When she's getting taken advantage of, she's kind of sweet and
Got
southern.
it.
That's a hot take,
That
dude.
is a great take. That's a great take, and that's what you listen to this podcast for. Let's talk about Wills and how he went home and I didn't understand a single thing he said.
Will's the Weasel. All right, Wills and Nick Slick, a.k.a. Nick the Lizard, gone. See you later. May I remind the audience that Wills came in fourth on Becca's season. Not a single female found this fucker attractive.
Dude, I mean, you want to talk about a fall from not grace, but just, for the sake of these words that I'm trying to get out of my mouth, talk about a fall from grace. I mean, he's going home in a pathetic fashion.
Mm-hmm. That's because, every shot you saw of him, he was, in this group of girls just, postured up like a teenager gossiping, planting himself firmly in the friend zone. And one time last week, he was even criticizing Chris and saying he would bet family heirlooms that Chris wouldn't make a move. Those are not yours to bet.
Yeah.
Okay?
They belong to your family's history.
So I'm glad
you.
you're gone. You're a piece of shit, Wills.
I agree. See you later, Wills, you weirdo with your fucking weird
Later,
voice.
Wills.
Hey, gentlemen, I have a confession to make. I have a confession to make to the baby birds and you. As I was watching this episode, the rose ceremony happens. I'm sitting next to my wife. I'm finishing up my last sip of my Pinot Gris, and I walk off to bed, not realizing that the after commercial break,
30 minutes more.
the Pope was going to show up.
To be honest, Patrick, you made the right move because we burned a half hour.
We'll get through this very, very quickly. It was interesting to see all the girls, kind of feign excitement to see her. What the fuck is... Nisha doesn't give a shit. Nisha doesn't know who Becca is.
I wish Nisha would have stepped up and been like, gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a shit? I'm trying to find me a man's.
Yeah, I'm trying to find me a man's. And, the only other thing I want to say is that Colton gets very upset. I mean very upset. And weirdly enough, David is actually, kind of good at consoling him and listening to him.
That was pretty checked out, was he?
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. Colton was just really leaning into David, but it was almost as if Colton just needed a body to cry at because he was talking to David. He was like, these other guys don't understand. They went home in week 5 with Becca. And it was almost like he didn't know that he was talking to somebody whose season he was on.
Yeah. Dave was like, yeah, man, I was there.
I went
Smash
home
my face?
Week 7.
Smash my face.
What a weird person to confide in, by the way.
I know. Super weird person to confide in.
Before he was consoled, he was doing that real ugly cry. That's
Yes.
he's crying too much, and he was.
Well, I've seen him cry before, grabbing that big meathead skull of his with alligator tears, which I believe are alligator tears. Those are fake tears, yes? Alligator tears?
I was just going to ask. I don't know what that is.
Oh, yeah. Alligator, yeah. Crocodile tears?
Crocodile tears.
Is it crocodile tears?
Probably one or the other.
Oh, who gives a fuck? He's faking his whole fucking thing. And look, the baby birds have hit this. Social medias have hit this. We've caught this. Colton, this is your audition tape. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. Please leave this island so I can have fun watching other people hook up and have sex.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to fuck anybody here.
Right. We're going to have 12 weeks of you. Go away.
He was like, I can't put myself out here in this situation. And really the subtext of it was, I can't put myself out here in this situation. But maybe in 3 to 4 months, I'll be able to put myself out there. Specifically if I'm presented with like 25 to 29 female suitors, which I can systematically eliminate through a series of elaborate dates where we are often serenaded by no-name musical acts. That would be the ideal situation for me to put myself out there again.
You are very, very good at breaking down context, and I think
Subtext.
Sorry. I think you're right on with that.
Point on, dude. Right on.
I meant to do that while really get emotional with it and tears, but I just wasn't in the moment. But I feel like it was better that way.
Hey, gentlemen, I'm going to take us down a road that we probably don't want to go down, and so we can probably cut this out if it doesn't work. Men like Colton, who's a big dude who beat the shit out of people. I'd be scared if I saw him like a road rage incident. I would not get out of my car.
Right.
But no, that is not true because he is a complete puss. And I think there is one cure for this. For those baby birds that were born before 1970 will understand this. Lee Ermey. I think we could use a little bit more of him in our lives.
Rest
maybe as
in
a
peace.
father figure. Rest in peace. Maybe if Colton heard this, this might help him be more of a man.
I think you've been cheated. Where in the hell are you from anyway, Private? Sir, Texas, sir! Holy dog shit, Texas. Only steers and queers come from Texas, Private Cowboy. And you don't much look like a steer to me, so that kind of narrows it down. Do you suck dicks? Sir, no, sir! Are you a Peter Pupper? Sir, no, sir! I'll bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around. I'll be watching you.
And I'll be watching Colton, sir.
I don't want that in my life at all.
It makes you a man, dude. Makes you a man.
Yeah, maybe Colton does need more of that because he is about to come face to face with the girl he dated kind of for 2.5 months. And it's going to be an emotional reckoning. But that's next week.
I can't wait. Oh,
Excuse me, not next week. Next episode.
Next episode.
Yeah. 2 more hours to endure. Good news for you guys. We've got another episode coming soon. My name's Dylan. And before I say I'm saying goodbye, we just have to say, love you guys for listening to the show. Thank you for joining our Facebook group. It's a wonderful community on the internet at facebook.com/group/Another
Bachelor Podcast.
And then on Instagram, it's at
Another Bachelor Podcast.
And then remember to jump in the Apple Podcast ratings and reviews. Leave us 5 stars. Not 1 because it makes Pat so angry. But if you're going to leave 1, please write your name. My name's Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat.
Bye, guys.
Say goodbye.